Hey girl, welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. In episode 44, we're going to tackle intuitive eating. I'm going to share with you the 10 principles of intuitive eating and what life actually looks like unrestricted. You're going to want to get a notebook and a pen because today's show is for you, sister friend. I can't wait to share with you intuitive eating. Let's go. Hey girl, welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. I'm Lindsay Nickel, former competitive figure skater and perfectionist, turned God-led imperfect boy mom and digital CEO. If you find yourself constantly thinking about food and wondering if you'll wake up one day free from the obsessive thoughts and behaviors controlling your life, then I've created this podcast for you. Because I know exactly what it's like to be a downright hot mess, trapped in a destructive cycle of disordered eating. I finally found freedom, and you can too, girlfriend. So if you're ready to heal your relationship with food and body and break the chains of control and show up in your best health, then grab your favorite Tarjay journal and let's get to it. So you can start living your best life as your best self. Hey girl, today's show is gonna be a goodie. And I hope you are celebrating Memorial Day. For us, we are honoring those who have served here in the US of A. And I know that this can also be something that can bring up many emotions for you if you have loved ones maybe that you've lost, or holidays in general, right? Maybe you're going to a barbecue, maybe you're hanging out with family, and that can bring up many things that can trigger you. And all the food can also be insanely uncomfortable at times. But today I wanted to bring into your awareness intuitive eating because I have yet to do an episode on intuitive eating here on the podcast. However, I truly practice intuitive eating in my own life, and I practice with my one-on-one clients intuitive eating. My definition of intuitive eating is listening to your body's needs so that you can fuel yourself, so that you can function as your best self and thrive as your absolute best self. Intuitive eating is the complete opposite of food rules. It's the complete opposite of dieting. And no, this doesn't mean that you are going to eat everything under the sun and gain a bunch of weight. That is not the principle around intuitive eating. Intuitive eating does not come naturally when you've been trapped in the cycle of disordered eating, because maybe you're so used to restricting, or maybe you're so used to these unhealthy patterns. But sister, when you can start listening to your body's needs and your body can start trusting that you're going to feed it exactly what it needs to thrive, then over time you can start to relearn exactly what it is to live an intuitive state when it comes to gentle nutrition and body acceptance. So really staying true and being mindful during the process and taking every bite captive. You're going to hear me talk a little bit about this every bite captive throughout the show. But when we think about what it is we are thinking about while we're eating, we can really listen to our body. And we can do this in a couple of ways. We can do this pre-eating, during eating, and post-eating experience. But maybe you are getting ready to go out of town, or maybe you're already there, or maybe you're just chilling at home. Maybe you're trying to avoid doing things with family because you know that food's involved. I want you to honor those who serve, but I also want you to honor you. I want you to honor you today. And listening to what your body needs is doing just that. So let's talk about some of the principles of intuitive eating. This coined approach of body positivity and honoring hunger was in 1995 when Evelyn Tribole and Elyse Resch came out with their best-selling book, The Revolutionary Anti-Diet of Intuitive Eating. And the 10 different principles that they talk about in their book is number 1, rejecting the diet mentality. Literally stopping that mentality. We're no longer restricting. We're no longer trying to do all of the things so that we can allow our bodies to be a certain size. We are living into our truth and allowing our bodies to be where our bodies need to be. And sister, if you are on this road and this path of leaving disordered eating behind you, this is one of the things that you're going to have to accept, and that is to reject the diet. Number 2 is honoring your true hunger. Really sitting with yourself and honoring what it is that you're hungry for. Instead of having this mentality of, am I allowed to eat this? Or am I gonna have to spend another 45 minutes on the treadmill in order to eat that? Number 3 is making peace with your food, because food is not the enemy. And we've talked about this a ton, but making peace with food is so clearly important to living a life that is intuitive, that is on your terms, that is unrestrictive. Number 4 is challenging the food police. I want you to start facing your fears and challenge the food police, because your beliefs and perceptions around food have come up for you. And maybe for you, it's like bagels are bad, but I want you to challenge that. What makes a bagel so flippin' bad? Number 6, discover the satisfaction factor. This is something that I absolutely love when I start hearing my clients go through this experience where they're like, I really listened to my body today and my body wanted oatmeal. And that's something that I'm terrified of, but I allowed myself to have the oatmeal because I need to give myself permission to honor my hunger needs. And it was so freaking satisfying. Sister, I get it, because I've been there. And actually, I just had oatmeal this morning. So I want you to start discovering the satisfaction factor. Number 7 is coping with your emotions without using food as a way to do that. Okay, you're allowed to have feelings, but food doesn't fix feelings. And the lack of food doesn't fix those feelings either. Number 8 is respecting your body. You only get this one temple. So why are you treating it so poorly? And no, this isn't to shame you, but I want you to wake up. For your body to function at its best, you have to start nourishing it so that it can. Number 9 is exercise and feeling the difference. Not, I have to exercise, but I get to exercise. And not, I have to walk on the treadmill for an hour and 20 minutes, but I get to go outside and play with my kids and do yoga so that I can become more mindful and walk around the neighborhood or walk on the treadmill. But it's not that you have to, it's that you get to. It's because it's the way your body functions at its absolute best. And last but not least is honoring your hunger. There is a reason inside of us, our true cave woman-like state, that we want certain things. We desire them, whether it's appetite, whether it is comfort, okay? There's so many reasons why we desire those things. And I want and encourage you to go back to my episode, The Reasons Why We Eat, because that is basically like a precursor to intuitive eating. But I want you to honor your hunger needs. And sometimes that looks like the oatmeal, and sometimes that looks like the pancakes. But you, sister, you're worth every single minute of it. And it doesn't mean that food is good or bad or right or wrong or black or white. Every single day is a new opportunity for you to start serving yourself and start showing up, because there's no way that you can be the best mom, the best wife, the best friend, unless you are giving your body exactly what it needs to thrive. And that is so much more than a cup of coffee. Okay, now I want to dive into and apply the 3 different things that I feel could really help you today in your life, because it can be very complicated when we're just information overload. And when I talk about taking every bite captive, I really like to get present. And so when I'm eating, I'm very present. I'm not eating and running all around. I'm very present, because during my recovery process, I felt like it was really, really important to start embracing and trusting my body and leaning into that intuitive state, because that was going to battle my eating disorder brain. That was going to do the exact opposite of what I was so used to doing to myself for so many years. Believe me, I get it. Maybe you have the intent to sit down and eat like a normal person, and then you get there and your mind starts on a swivel. It's like, how can I take away more carbs? How can I get rid of the bun? How can I cut this in half? How can I only eat this? How can I play around with my food? Sister, I've been there. But is that what your body really wants? Or is that what you are allowing it to have and receive? Because that's all you've known for years. Intuitive eating does not come naturally when you've been trapped in the cycle of disordered eating for so long. But over time, you can start to relearn exactly what your body needs to thrive, not just survive. I talk about the sum in my 5x5 rule that I practice with clients, but essentially it's having a good 5 different staple items from breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and desserts, where you can really create your own personal, unique menu. Then once this feels doable and you feel like, okay, I have 5 different things that I can choose from, it's adding more to where you currently are. So if you haven't been eating enough and you realize that and you're conscious of that and you know that you want to start living into this truth because you know you're so much more than a scale or a number on the scale, then I want you to really think about, how can I add something in? How can I be very, very, very mindful prior to eating, prior to setting up my day, of something that maybe I'm already eating? Because this is a first principle in practice in rejecting that diet mentality and limiting, right? And stripping it away and restricting. And a life unrestricted is a life that gives yourself permission to nourish your body. I practice, in addition to the 5x5, the rule of 3s with clients. This is all dependent about where you are starting from. Okay, so I'll start there. But don't let your fear trap you right here. You can begin leaning into intuitive eating and embracing your true and healthiest version of you by getting extremely present in your food process. And the 3x3 is simply 3 meals a day, 3 snacks. But if that feels super overwhelming, then I want you to sit with yourself and apply these things today. And I want you to let me know how it goes over in our private Facebook community, Hope and Healing for Eating Disorder Recovery. You can ask yourself these 3 questions before, during, and after your meals. Okay, so we're gonna get real. Number 1 is intuitive intent. So this happens before eating. When, why, what do I really need right now? Am I eating what I feel that I have to feel safe because I'm scared to gain weight or I'm scared to go out of my comfort zone? Or am I eating what I want to because my body is telling me so? Reject the diet mentality. Before you even sit down to eat, establish intuitive intent, sister. Then number 2 comes. This is intuitive action. This is during your meal. How am I nourishing my body and honoring it right now? Am I going to continue to eat the same thing every single day and be extremely restrictive and it's completely mechanical and I'm just doing it to survive, but I'm barely doing that? Or am I going to make peace with food? Because food isn't the enemy here. What I'm making food mean, what I'm making my worth and my identity mean is so much larger than my food and my weight. Sister, I want to lean into you today. If you are consumed around calories and food control, you cannot be consumed with where God wants to take you and do through you. Life is happening for you, and you can jump on this magical train of life, or you can continue to restrict your food, continue these unhealthy behaviors around food, and you can watch that train pass you by. Everyone around you is feeling this pressure. Everyone around you, whether you believe it or not, your kids, your husband, your family, they all are impacted by your eating disorder. The best thing that you can do for those that you love is honor you. Honor you. It's gonna be hard, but you can have intuitive intent at every single meal, every single bite, taking every bite captive. And you can have intuitive action during your meal. How am I nourishing my body right now and honoring my body so I can be more present, so I can be better for my family, so I can be better for me, so that I can make food not the enemy because it's not the enemy. And so I can show up for God so that I can be the best wife, friend. Intuitive reflection is the last one. And this is after you've eaten. What am I feeling, thinking, needing right this second? Because food doesn't fix our feelings. But how can I turn my negative thoughts and that shame and those feelings around so that I can change my story and change the future of my life? Do you think that God wants you to sit around so consumed with that cheeseburger you just had on Memorial Day that you can't even allow yourself to enjoy the presence of family and friends? Do you think he wants you to be so consumed that you avoid functions because you're afraid of what might be on the menu. You're afraid it might take you out of your comfort zone. You're afraid that it might make you gain weight. Or do you think that he put you here for a purpose? And that purpose is so far from perfection. In my practice, I focus on the framework that tunes out these external messages that we've been lying to ourselves for years and years and years about everyone else and what they think of us and the labels they've put on us, and allowing you, working with you and allowing you to listen to truth and internal wisdom. Diet culture is going to tell us that banana and peanut butter is bad. And intuitive eating is going to tell us that banana and peanut butter is living into our true state. Diet culture is going to tell us that too many carbs are in there and there's too much sugar and too much fat and it doesn't fit into my macros or my calories and I would have to walk for an hour to eat that. But honoring your true intuitive self is going to tell you that I love fruit and peanut butter is the freaking best. And both fill my body with nutrients that my body needs to fuel and function and thrive. And I'm actually craving some right now, so I'm going to go make myself this very thing. Our bodies act in accordance to our minds. And after years of telling us these restrictive stories, it takes time, sister, to reframe and change how we live. But by beginning to honor what we truly need and what we want deep down inside of our gut is where we find freedom. Because the stress and the response from restricting and diet after diet, going through this over and over, is way worse for you than simply eating the food you've been avoiding. Today, I know we're honoring those that we love and those who have served in our country. But I want you to honor you too, my friend. Listening to your body's needs to fuel and function and thrive at its absolute best is exactly the thing that you can do today to do just that. I can't wait to hear from you. I hope this episode has blessed your heart on so many levels. If you feel me today, if you're vibing with everything I've been saying, I want you to know that life can look so much different than what it does right now. Life unrestricted is a life without food rules. It's a life where you can be so present, so clear, so in the moment with those that you love that you're no longer trapped by this mental jargon of an eating disorder brain telling you that you're not good enough and you don't deserve it and you're not worthy enough. And maybe she can have that, but I can't. Sister, you can. I encourage you today to honor you. Give yourself permission, friend. And if you're struggling with allowing yourself that permission, hear this on replay. I give you permission to listen to what your body needs to function. I give you permission to have that intuitive intent, to think about rejecting and actually start putting that into action, diet mentality, and to show up and make peace with your food through intuitive action by doing the dang thing. And finally, experiencing intuitive reflection, where you are feeling and thinking and getting present with what you need to do to change the story. Because if you're here another day, then you've got another chance. And friend, honor yourself today. Until next time, I love you, girl, and I can't wait to talk to you later on this week. I hope that the show is exactly what you needed. I'll talk to you soon. Oh, friend, thank you so much for letting me share what was on my heart today. My hope for this podcast is to help more women find freedom from food and body. If this has empowered or blessed you, let me know. I'd be honored for your rating and review of my show, and I'd love to connect with you in my private Facebook community. You really can move from perfection to purpose. Let's break the chains together. I'll help navigate the way. Until next time, bye for now, girl.